Sometimes you need to let people go so God can bless you. Learning how to let people go can be a difficult thing to get acquainted with on time. Someone you've built a deep connection with and whom you've shared your life with is likely one of the hardest things you will ever have to do. Letting go of someone you love isn't easy, but it is very important to know that being in a relationship with someone or some people can be the reason why you don't experience the blessings of God as you desire or as you ought to. To focus your energy on living positively and proactively, you need to learn how to move on. When you do, you'll find that letting go can have many benefits. Knowing you need to let go and letting go are two different things. These tips will help you discover how to move on once and for all. When letting go of people, you need to work on or operate more with discernment than operating with natural senses. There is divine knowledge that points out the kind of people you should stop having relationships with, because they are a hindrance to your progress in life. You will need to work with the wisdom of discernment to be able to cut out the right people that need to go or stop having a relationship with. Nothing will save your life like discernment. It is the third eye, very powerful, and without it, you can't have true growth. Growth is very important, and discernment is a major factor in true growth. There is an understanding that gives you an advantage, and discernment helps you to take productive action. Learning how to let go of someone you love becomes much more difficult when you are constantly reminded of them. But with the help of discernment, you will be able to set out the right person that needs to go. Discernment is the knowledge beyond normal. It is the ability to see beyond the regular, a deep knowledge that is not obvious. It is a deep understanding that settles your spirit. The wisdom called discernment was put in our lives so we can have the supernatural advantage. It is the ability to see what others can't see normally. It is the ability to judge people, places, or things correctly, even though they may not look like the judgment you are passing. Your ability to look past physical things and judge rightly. Discernment is the quality of being able to grab and comprehend what is obscure. It is perception beyond the obvious. It is inside you already. You only need to use it. It is a strategy, and it means to give you an advantage. The process of letting go and moving on from a relationship can be stressful and lonely. Unfortunately, not all relationships are meant to last forever. Sometimes, they get to a point when they are no longer empowering or fulfilling. When we stay stuck in the past by holding on to someone we once loved, we hold ourselves back from achieving our goals and archiving the life we desire. This is not the time to beat yourself up or ignore your needs, because what you are setting up for is greater than your feelings or your emotions toward it. It's important not to focus on the great times that you had that could have continued. Letting go of a relationship can be painful, but it's important to understand that whatever short-term stress or anguish you're feeling will be worth it in the long run. So, it is the right time to make your decision and stand by it. The dissolvement of a relationship can take a huge toll on your mental health, but also understand that there are some steps that if you don't take, God would not move. There is an action that commands divine attention. If you are in a parasitic relationship that is dragging you back in life, it might not be easy, but make it regardless, because that is where the change you desire can show forth. By focusing on yourself, you'll feel more capable of standing up for yourself and dealing with all the challenges life is throwing at you. Some relationships are easier to leave than others, and romantic relationships are one of the tougher ones, but there is no excuse for success. Either you do it or you remain like that. No escape room. The problem you're facing might not necessarily be demonic. Maybe You just have to cut out some people from your life. God moves powerfully in your lives when you choose to pursue Him and embrace His perspective and outlook for your life, rather than embracing the relationship. Maybe you were convinced it needed to end, but knew how hard it would be if you say it. You still have to say it because the longer it takes, the harder it will be. What God has in store for you is never in the past. He has something better than that relationship. He has something greater than your worries and your fears. Decisions sometimes prove to be the hardest to make, especially when it's a choice between where you should be and where you want it to be. You can train yourself and say, God wants this for me. What you are doing is making it harder for yourself to let go. Stop looking at all of these different things and instead look to the Lord. Keep your mind on God. When you finally let go, you give God room to wield His mighty arm in your life. When your hands are weak and tired, God's hands are strong and powerful. If you're asking God for blessings and He's still not answering that prayer, it could be that you are not doing the necessary thing that will make your prayers be answered. Something happens when you practice letting go in your life. This letting go lessens the fullness in your life and creates space for something new to come into your life. You must let go, whether it be by force or by choice, because the next phase of life that you want is right there in your decision. God's promise of blessing contained His instruction regarding the place of blessing. God's blessing was contingent upon being in the right place. That relationship might just be the sacrifice that is needed to get or break down to the next level of life. Amid God's warnings was also the assurance of God's mercy and compassion, and the certainty that His promises to His people would be fulfilled. If you have ever been in a situation where you felt like God is telling you to end a relationship, but you also desperately wanted to make your relationship work, then you already know that you are the enemy of your progress. Because when God is telling you to leave a relationship, you will sense it. He is going to introduce a sense of discomfort into your relationship, for your business, family, spiritual growth, and so many things will be hindered if you don't listen to Him. God's design for your life is perfect and oftentimes requires you to let go of control. And the best way to surrender is to pay attention to His instructions. When you choose to obey the Lord, He will bless you. This is because obedience always leads to blessing. I've always told people who say they do not understand why God is asking them to do a certain thing that if they will obey Him, He will reward them with a sense of peace and joy that compares to nothing. Therefore, set a goal to obey the Lord and watch Him work in your life. Unfortunately, the path that takes us to the promised land is always wrought with thickets and thorns. Nothing worth having ever comes easy or without opposition. God wants us to experience continual restarts, rebirths, and redefinitions, and to rebrand our life. While many reasons change as hard, one of the primary reasons is your resistance to moving on and moving forward. Learning new things is not the difficult part, but rather letting go of the old things, those old stories of who you were, how you used to do things, and what everyone feels comfortable with and thinks. How to let go of the past may mean different things to different people. It may also depend on your situation. Whatever it means to you, it's possible to release what weighs heavy on your heart and mind. You can do it, and trust God on account of anything that you face thereafter. Letting go is letting come. If you don't let go, the change you desire and the help of God that you seek will not come to you. It may be as hurtful or painful, but it is very important to know also that pain is part of progress. No success in life comes cheap. Gild your heart and let go of relationships where it is necessary. What to lose is smaller than what you want to achieve. A simple breakup can open a mega door of God's blessings for you.